My memories of Kristallnacht are twofold. November 9, November 10, 1938. The things that happened on November 9 happened while I was asleep. I knew nothing about what was going on, but I woke up early the morning of November 10th, and my oldest brother Asher, who was quite religious, and went every morning to our synagogue, the Friedberger Anlage Synagogue, to open the door for the Jews in Frankfurt who were going to the early service to daven at 6:30 in the morning before they went to work. He did that morning, and he came running back, screaming at the top of his lungs, "The synagogue's on fire, my God, the synagogue's on fire." And as a 6-year-old boy, I looked at him and I said, I wish I could see that. At this day and time, I would have said cool, but that wasn't in the vernacular at that time. But I couldn't go because things were so bad at the time already for Jews that I was not allowed to go out of the house by myself for fear of being harmed. So within a half hour or so, my 14-year-old cousin, Arno, came by. He lived next door, and he heard about what was going on, and he knew that I wanted to go. He said, "Come on, Ben, I'll take you. We'll go." So we went literally around the corner, and we saw surely that the flames were spewing out of the windows of the Friedberger Anlage Synagogue. 3 men came to our door. 2 of them were in uniform, and they had weapons and police dogs. And the other one was, who I obviously was in charge, was in civilian clothes. He had a trench coat and a hat and a weapon. He had a gun in his holster. And he knocked on the door. And my mother came to the door holding my baby sister, Rosalena, who was 9 months old at the time. And as soon as she opened the door, he said to her, very gruffly, "I'm here to see Dr. Hirsch." And my mother, who probably at that time never told a lie in her life. I mean, she was the daughter of a rabbi and very devout. But this time she felt that it was appropriate. And she looked him straight in the face and said, "Dr. Hirsch is not here, but if you would leave me your card, I will see to it that he calls you as soon as he comes in." Well, the man was not amused. They had been standing outside the house for hours, casing the house to see who was coming in and who was coming out, who was going out. The house was also my father's office, where he practiced dentistry. So they knew exactly who was in the house and who was not. So he looked at my mother, and he grabbed the baby from my arms, threw my sister to the floor, pulled out his pistol, and aimed it at her. And he said, "Now, you have 30 seconds to make Dr. Hirsch appear. If he doesn't come, I will shoot the baby." And then he pointed a gun at my brother Werner, who was about less than a year older. He says, "He's next." And then pointed the gun at me because I was the next in age. Apparently he knew a lot about the family. He says, "I will shoot all of your children by age, and then I will shoot you." Well, my father, who was hiding in the basement, heard that, and he came running up quickly, and he gave himself up. And I'm told that he was arrested and sent to Buchenwald concentration camp. There were 6 Kindertransports that were leaving Frankfurt 1 month apart, one per month, to different cities in Europe, major cities. The first one was leaving for Paris, and since we had family there, my mother thought that was the appropriate one to select, and then she signed us up, the 5 oldest children. The Kindertransports had a limitation of age of 6 to 13. So my younger siblings were too young. Actually, my sister Flo was already 13, but because I was so small, they decided to let her come and take care of me on the train, as well as all other children that were as small as I was. I wasn't the only small child there. So she got us ready to go, and it was December the 5th or 6th, 1938. She got somebody to take care of the two younger children, and she brought out the baby carriage from the house, loaded all of our luggage into the baby carriage, and the 6 of us walked for, I would say, about 2 miles to the Hauptbahnhof, the main train station of Frankfurt. When I was about 8 3/4 almost years old, I had been living in a world that didn't want me around, and I knew it and I felt it, and it wasn't safe. I was always told that never ever go out alone, and for any reason you have to be out alone, then you must look to the right and to the left, and in front of you and behind you and up and down. Somebody over there is lurking to do you damage. And this is the way I was brought up. But here I was walking on the beach in Lisbon, all alone, and without feeling the need to look to either side of me or any side of me. And I realized that for the first time in my life, what I was feeling was freedom from fear, which I had never felt before.